and today we're doing the second section of the Your Best Reading Life workbook. So I have created a workbook to help you figure out your reading goals and to live your best reading life. You can go over to booksformks.com to download this free 15-page workbook. It's a PDF file that you can print it out and fill in the journal prompts and do the activities and check off the lists, and it'll help you to set your goals for your reading life. Today we're doing the second section in the workbook, which is the section on your reading influences. In this section, we're going to think about people in our life who have influenced our reading either in a positive way or maybe in a negative way. Is it maybe a person that taught you to read? Maybe it's a parent or a teacher or a sibling. Maybe it's a grandparent who read aloud to you when you were a child. Did they give you a book? Or maybe they took you to the library? Or is it maybe someone who led by example? You saw them reading and it inspired you to read. Is it someone that cultivated an environment of reading? Maybe it's someone who joined your book club or recommended a favorite book to you. Somehow there's someone somewhere who inspired you to read. Or maybe there was a person who criticized your reading. Maybe they criticized your choice of reading material or the amount that you were reading, or maybe your reading speed, saying that you're reading too slow or something. So what stories did these people tell you about reading and readers? And how did that help you to develop your own reading identity? So we're going to pause here for a minute. There is a place in the workbook where you can write down who was a person or multiple people who influenced your reading either in a good way or in a bad way. We're going to pause for a minute so that you can write in some answers. So now that you've identified some people in your life that have influenced your reading, we're going to do a little activity. It's activity time. So our first activity is we're going to take a moment to thank someone who influenced your reading for good. In our workbook, we have a little list, and you can go down the list and choose to do one of the thankful activities. You can thank them in person or text them or write a comment online to thank them. You could just call them just to ask, hey, what are you reading these days? Maybe you could give them a copy of your favorite book. Or if it's someone from way back in your past, like some elementary school teacher and you have no idea how to contact them, you could always just pass on their good influence to someone else. So you can look around for ways to inspire others to enjoy reading. So we're going to pause the video again just for a minute so you can write down for yourself who are you going to thank and how are you planning to thank them. All right, our next activity is a little tougher, but I'm going to lead you through it. We're going to take a moment to forgive someone who criticized our reading. We're just going to take a little thoughtful moment and cultivate forgiveness. Just sit quietly and relax. Take a few deep breaths in and out. And it might be difficult, but I want you to imagine that that person who criticized you is in front of you. Release the bad influence that they had on you. Remind yourself that their opinion really doesn't matter. Don't feel like you have to justify yourself or your reading. Don't have an imaginary conversation where you explain yourself to them. Just let go of that need to be understood or accepted by them. Take another long, deep breath and forgive them for their hurtful words and attitude towards you. And then, just as important, is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for allowing their critical attitude to influence your story. Take another deep breath. Breathe in forgiveness and breathe out peace, and just let it go. And now you can come back and open up your eyes. Don't you just feel lighter? I just feel like this burden has lifted off my shoulders. I don't have to be worried or bothered by any of that anymore. I hope that you found these activities really inspiring and peaceful and just really helpful to kind of move forward and be able to live your best reading life. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know who is someone that influenced you for good. I would love to hear some stories about readers that have influenced you and inspired you to love books. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.